Is there anybody online?
Yeah, a couple people.
Okay.
Recording is. Right.
All right, everybody out there in, online, we're waiting a minute or two for Paul Rice to show up. He's running a couple minutes late. Otherwise, we'll proceed shortly.
I think that was the line there that I questioned. ORS,
It was this one.
Okay, all right. So I will have to, we can reach out to Miller Nash too, after for that, what that ORS is.
Okay.
Maybe, hopefully this and so.
Let's keep it.
Okay, yeah, I will find out and then I will get an answer for you guys by early next week.
the boat out in the shop. Where's that?
It is, I believe it's in the base of LBTC. But we have the guy come and look at for placarding, stickering stuff, and we're making a list of stuff we have to order to outfit it.
After the meeting, can we go run over there real quick, or you got something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
All right. Yeah, I don't, no, it's not in the shop. It's gotta be out at the LBTC.
I don't think I remember the code again.
So if just, and while we're, to clarify that one question you have about 21.2, ORS 478310, it basically talks about limiting, so the fire department can go, you owe us $1 million for us going out there. So it has to be based on a reasonable value of the apparatus, depreciation, stuff like that. So basically what all most departments use is the state rate. So it's $100 an hour for an engine and $75 an hour for a water tender. So basically what ORS does is it limits. So we can't say you owe us $1 million for coming out and putting out your house fire. It limits it to what's reasonable, and that's what it refers to. So if that answers that question, that's all that is about.
Yeah. Well,
So if you guys, when we get to that point, that was just, at least that answered that question from last month.
it's getting close.
I just texted him, wait for an answer back, said, hey, how far out are you? So. It's up to you, sir. If you want to start the meeting, he'll catch up. He's coming into St. Helens right now, so he's probably 5 minutes out still.
Well, we can always start then. Do the legal stuff.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's now 8:00 or 6:05. Here we're calling the meeting to order. Okay. Absolutely. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, any changes to the agenda? Not that I know of. Does anybody?
No.
Okay. Any public comment? Local 3215 report?
That's the song right there.
No.
Okay. Volunteer report? Okay, any correspondence?
No.
Okay, consent agenda? We can approve the.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. Okay. Discussion.
So you guys were talking about the, um, like getting step boost and class kind getting toned out with, the chief officer's report from last meeting.
Yes.
So is there any update with CAD on that or what's going on? Just, doesn't that have to do with the ghosting or something like that? Just a little curious.
There was a glitch.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about that or chief's report?
We can do that.
Yeah, if you guys want to talk about that.
I have nothing to discuss.
Let's see if you guys are-
Sorry, ball eight. No, I'm eight, no.
We kind of already started.
Didn't get very far.
Right now, we're reviewing the consent agenda from last month.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, we'll give you some time to look at it real quick.
What's that, like financial, like the last check for 52,276, 75,276?
It's the striker payment.
Okay. Are you looking for a motion?
No,
We've done the motion, it's up for discussion.
Oh, okay.
There's no discussion in the coming part.
okay, any, we'll give you a moment to look at it. So, any discussion?
Yeah, no.
Motion to vote. Okay. Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, go. All right. Chief Officer's Report, State of the District.
Okay, so we'll start with the state of the district. So on New Year's Eve, I went down to the office, decided that it would be a good time to maybe do a state of the district. Send out to all our folks and where we're at. Did you guys receive that when I sent to all users? Are you guys getting those? Or do I? Okay, so anyway, I made,
I don't think I did either.
okay, so I'll have to figure out why all users should include the board members. So if not, I'll find out why we talk to Center Logic next week. So basically just trying to capture the last year to 18 months of what's going on in a positive note, start 2025 with a positive note. Really, and I'll answer your question too, Austin, here in a second. So obviously we changed the way we responded. So we have a 2-day card, one from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and one from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 3 o'clock in the morning. And when staffed with a couple that with our crews, we are meeting 99% of our calls. There is chances and opportunities for calls that will overwhelm our system, really overwhelm any system. And that's what has occurred. And one of the things I brought up last month was the number of calls that up to, I believe, November 15th or December. I can't remember when I had Lieutenant Fleet to run the report. But ultimately, the bulk of the calls for Scappoose, it was 100 at the time, it was 160 some odd calls. They only made it to scene 44 times. And then of the 44 times, they only transported less than 22 times or 20 times. And so we really are trying not to bother our mutual aid partners more than we absolutely have to. Last night was a great example. We had a structure fire, a full arrest, and a dip breather all within 5 minutes. And so I diverted units from the structure fire to the full arrest. Scappoose still had to come up and take a call at the end because we were tapped. And so during the structure fire, once we got the ambulances back, we had a car accident. It came in as in Scappoose's district, but is actually just inside Columbia River. So Scappoose handled that call for us. So we really are trying not to bother our mutual aid partners, and same with Clatskanie. Clatskanie's a lot less. I think it was only 50 or 60. I don't have the numbers in front of me from last month, but of the 50 or 60, Clatskanie has a higher propensity to be on scene because why? We have more units coming back from the hospital at this end. We don't have much at that end. So Clatskanie gets on scene more often. They transport about 50% of the time for us. And we are working on a report. For some reason, our report going to how much mutual aid we provide to them is getting a little more difficult to pull out. So we're still trying to build that report. I was going to talk to Tim Hennigan down at Scappoose and see if he can help me build the report so we can pull that data. But most of the time we feel it's about a 50-50 split. We're giving as much as we're getting, but ultimately no district in Columbia County can stand alone. There's just too many calls. Last weekend, we ran into Scappoose multiple times over the weekend and didn't have them come help us. So again, we're not keeping track of it. It's just, that's what we do. We should be looking at this where these are our partners, these are our friends, these are our, our brothers and sisters in arms, and we need to go and help. And, sometimes we need help too. So hopefully, Austin, most of the time there's not necessarily errors. There is some human component to it. So whether they ghost or forget to unghost or they're on another call, but it is working. It's just, we're trying not to have you guys toned out because clearly Scappoose has got a lot more tone outs than Clatskanie. So we are working through that, but it is generally human error, whether at dispatch or at our level with our lieutenants or even myself as the duty officer missing something and not getting that unit switched over or switched back pretty fast. So I can all I do is apologize to our partners. I will at the fire defense board, but for the most part, we really are holding our own and our folks are working their butt off. They're clearing calls and going to it. I wanted to brief that we have had a fantastic response from our volunteers, especially at the Rainier end. They are picking up calls. This is where probably why Clatskanie is not getting toned as often. They are coming in picking up calls. Bill Goodwin, Susie Holsopple, Eric and Ashley Murray, Jeff Flatt, they're coming in today they came in multiple times today to cover while Rainier had to move down because we were tapped. Our members down at this end, we're struggling a little bit more, but we do have some that do come in quite a bit. Steve, who's one of our newer ones, he was a volunteer battalion chief for Hillsborough. When he's not pulling triples to Pendleton, he is coming in on calls, whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but they are doing and responding and assisting and augmenting us. And it is thanks to our volunteers that we've been able to meet our calls. So last night was a great example, structure fire. We had great volunteer responsibles at Rainier and St. Helens. And we had 3 of our 4 water tenders showed up on scene. We were able to clear Scappoose and kick them loose and send them back, and then use our water tenders to shuttle water for the event. And it was no one got hurt. It was a good event. So I do appreciate all of our members putting in the time and effort to basically make sure that our citizens are being taken care of. So when I sent out this report, basically just talked about a couple of things that, and I'll just hit the highlights real fast. I don't want to waste your guys' night, but we stabilized our finances. We're doing, we're not out of the woods, but we are definitely, we can see the open field. And so, thanks to 3215, the board, our volunteers, the staff, we have stabilized where we're at, and we can begin to move forward where we should be, which is taking care of our citizens on with, stable financial ground to stand on. So I wanted to hit that up. We did confirm through legal channels that the 6.8 acres down off of South Ninth is Columbia River Fire and Rescue's. And either we can utilize that in future, potentially for, collateral for a loan if we need one, or in a future potentially use it for a site or sell it if we need it for funds for the organization. So we were able to clarify that and confirm it. One of the things I am proud of is since basically January of 24, we've done a lot here, and the MOAs that we've gotten with 3215, they help stabilize our budget. We reduced some staffing, but we've also increased it in other areas, and we were successful in giving them their back pay. And so that pretty much locks us out of next year. We don't have to, there's no back pay to pay back. So we have completed that. And it was worth noting that it was because of collaboration and teamwork. This is not one side felt like they wanted, one side pushed the other. It was a great opportunity to come together and fix the organization that we're all members of. So I want to thank 3215 for that. And that we obtained a low water rescue boat through the Spire grant system. So the boat did not cost anything. There will be some, we'll have to buy life jackets and radios and a few things we have to outfit, but it came. The only thing I was disappointed about the boat was it was a grant. They did not ask the fire department what they thought we should have on the boat. So the gentleman even said, I'm not sure what you needed, but I kind of built the boat I thought the fire department could use. So it is a fantastic boat. It needs a few little things that for safety measures, a little more anti-slip stuff. There's some stuff because he built it what he thought a fire department would want, but they never asked. It's not us. It's a boat that they built multiple ones for across the entire state. So we're gonna have to do a few minor changes to the boat, and then our goal is to have it operational by March 1st. So they'll be able to respond to assist our mutual aid partners, or if we have an event here, we can utilize the boat.
I'm assuming that's gonna be in the water.
We would have to have so we are talking, I've had a few conversations with Sheriff Pixley about potentially using their dock to tie it up, especially during the summer months when people are on the island. But it hasn't gone any further than that. So I want to make sure the boat is outfitted, operational, and we need to do some training. We have to train some members up. I don't want to just have a boat with people that can't drive it. So we have and operate off of it. So it's going to be probably a 5 to 6 month process to get us up to where we all feel comfortable with it, and our folks can utilize it anytime.
How big is the boat? What is it?
Yeah, 21-foot jet boat. I wouldn't call it a flat bottom. It's a shallow V. It will carry anywhere up to about 3,000 pounds. So it has 3 seats, a driver's place. That's everything we have to do. Is if we had a victim, how would you hold the victim on the back? But it's got great lights, a decent little. Eventually, the new Ford 2.3 liter, which I don't know if I would put that in the boat, but they put that in there. A Penta or Volvo would have been my choice because they've been around forever in boats. But open bow, and it's a metal hulled boat, so it should be able to take a lot of damage. It can go in shallow water. So if we had to go help Vernonia or Klatskai in certain areas where they got flooding, it should operate just fine. So it's going to take some training on our part.
Is it very heavy? Does it come with a trailer?
It came with a trailer. And I'll have to, what I'll do is we'll take, if you'd like to see it afterward, I'll take you guys to show it to you, and I'll get some pictures, and then we'll put it up on our website so people can actually see it.
If you leave it in that marina, it's gonna corrode. Really.
Correct.
Yeah, we had trouble with that before.
I honestly, Rick, I think we're gonna do is we're gonna just set up and just launch it when we need
We're
it.
better than a trailer.
And the last couple of things were that I wanted to give congratulations to Lieutenant Melton and Lieutenant Chandler, the last 2 lieutenants we promoted. And finally, that our Medic 9 crews are getting a new ambulance that you guys approved last month. So that was part of our budget for the 24-25. And so this was just something I want to send out to the folks. I didn't want to make it too long, but I at least want to make some positive stuff, that there were some monumental changes in our organization for the last year to 18 months. And it wasn't one person, it was everybody working together. So just want to make sure everybody was aware of that. We do have a couple notes. So we do have a lieutenant's test this month. On the 21st of January, their panel review. I have 5 chief officers from various areas, both in Washington and Multnomah area. They're going to come up and be the actual panel. So there'll be 5 of them for a panel. We have 9 candidates. The candidates that are successful with the panel interview will move on to the chief's interview, which is the next day, which I will have them for an hour each. So it's be a very long week for me, the week of the 21st. And then finally, once those are done on the 23rd, I had Kate send out for a civil service announcement. So I need civil service to approve the list so I can promote. And the goal is to promote people beginning this next pay period, which starts on the 25th. Now they're moving their shifts or whatever, but make them their lieutenants, fill the spots, and minimize the overtime. We do have 4 candidates that are currently in backgrounds and physical for firefighter paramedic. And we're interviewing 3 more that civil service also has to approve on the 23rd. That will bring us back up to our 30. We are phasing this in. This is not all 7 at once. Number one, we don't have the capacity to train them. And number 2, we're also keeping a very close eye on the budget. So if we get to where working with Kate and Krista, that if we start noticing that our expenditures are getting up there or on personal services, we may have to slow roll the rest of them. But we feel confident that we should be able to get all 7 of them through and bring our staffing back up to 30, which 10 per shift plus these single roles. So, but again, we want to, it's still a cautionary move that we are not going to just rush forward and hire 7 people all at once.
Does 30 change our staffing model in terms of, like Rainier or no?
Yes, so with new personnel, right, less time off, at least for the first couple of years. So what that would do is on a normal day, when if there's no one has any time off, there'll be 10, which means there'll be 4 in Rainier, 4 at St. Helens, and 2 at Fairgrounds. If we're short a guy, because the guy's on vacation, there will be 3 at Rainier, 4 here. But the goal is basically to be, our minimum will be 2 at Rainier, 4 at St. Helens, and 2 at Fairgrounds, plus the day cars. If the day cars are down, then we hire back a firefighter. So that's all part of the MOAs that we've established with 3215. And then our auditors, they had to push, so they will be here the week of the 27th. So we will have them in the admin building for all week for the week of the 27th. And I'm giving you guys notice now, March 4th, we are going to have a special meeting with the board, myself, Kate, and Krista, and we're going to be going over finances, where we're at. So the reason why we picked the 4th was because with our budget versus actuals, we're about 2 months back. March 4th means we've caught up to January. We'll be able to do a mid-year review of where we're at on which line items. We may have to move some money from one to another, and that's if we're short in one. I'll be honest, there were some decisions were made in the budget that were amounts put in that I didn't agree with. And so some of those seemed a little light, so we might have to move some funds, but it should be minimal, but we'll have a good understanding. This will be it'll be at noon time, and we'll do it down at the office. So it'll be televised. We'll re-record it, but if you can't make it, you can attend virtually. That's great, but it's going to be a midday meeting just with Krista.
What was the date?
March 4th. March 4th. And we will send an invite to you guys so you're all aware of it. So, Boston, you're on duty. You can just virtually tune in. But we're estimating an hour to an hour and a half. So hopefully we're giving you guys plenty of notice. So we're almost giving you 2 months. So hopefully far enough out that you guys can move some stuff around if you have to. Does anybody have anything right off the bat you can't do the 4th?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm on shift, but I'll look.
Man, that was fast. Good job. I know. I couldn't tell you where I'm gonna be at on the 4th. Okay, so and then finally our call volume, we're on track for about 6,800 calls a year. Obviously that's fluctuating. There's some days where it's not as bad, but then we get hammered. I will note the Scappoose, the last weekend, we didn't run as many calls. It seemed like Scappoose ran about twice as many as we did. So I think it's cyclical, but as of right now, I'm anticipating approximately 66 to 6,800 calls where we're going to end fiscal year 24-25. Yeah, gentlemen, have any questions for me?
What was January to January or December to December? Do we know?
I don't have that. I didn't bring those numbers. Also, I can get that for you. We're working on reports. With the continuum, and so we're starting pulling that. And I'm getting more comfortable with it. I have Lieutenant Wonder really working on it as well, and Lieutenant Polito. And so we're trying to we'll probably start out. We'll put that data in the report for you guys, so you guys can't see it. I know Chief Cole did it one time, put it in a report, but it was very lengthy. I'm going to try to narrow it down to a couple pages, something kind of like you can see. I think you guys see at a snapshot what we're doing from month to month.
How is the hiring for so obviously we're gaining more lieutenants, that way we can promote from within. How is that going?
So it's been a very long week, and I was supposed to put out, I have a job description for battalion chief and a memo that was going out to lieutenants. I'm going to which I'm coming in tomorrow. We have the Deputy State Fire Marshal will be out here for our fire at about 9, so I'm gonna go out there and meet him on the fire. I'm gonna come into the office and I'm gonna send out the email that I was supposed to send out today that has the job description and basically what I'm asking the 9 lieutenant or the 8 lieutenants that we have, if any of them would like to consider moving up to a salary shift or a salary administrative battalion chief, I'm looking at promoting 2. And that's why with the 9 that we have on the list that are taking the test, it's going to give some succession and some upward movement. So they're going to put a letter of intent in. And honestly, my plan was on the 23rd after civil services, conduct the interviews of whoever's going to be there and select 2 and then move them up as well and start them on a 40-hour position because I need help. And you gentlemen know that. And so that is the goal. It's just, I had it all. It's all on my desktop. I just never got a chance to send it out. So I will be sending it out tomorrow morning once I get done with the Deputy State Fire Marshal.
When's the ambulance turnaround time for the new one?
The anticipated is sometime early summer.
Oh, that's soon.
Yes. So we're hoping for August is what we're hoping.
Do we already have life packs and everything for the air we use?
We have an ambulance that we're gonna part with. It's one of our older ones. We actually talked about keeping it around possibly as a support vehicle, kind of like a class Scappoose has, but it's getting too hard to find parts for it and it would just be more of a drain on us. So we're gonna cut it loose and we're gonna use one of the old Chevy pickup trucks with a canopy on it. That's gonna be our support vehicle. We'll start carrying waters and spare bottles and stuff like that in that. So it's more user friendly for us too.
Do we have any reserve apparatus here?
As in,
Like a reserve ambulance if one breaks down?
yes, Medic 479. But right now, one of our ambulances is in the shop and once that's back in place, Medic 479 will go back in service. Yes. And I know this, I don't know if we've ever talked about this here, but ultimately I send an ambulance that's on its last legs or the one we're going to get rid of up to Fern Hill. And we keep it for about a year or until we buy another ambulance. And that way, if we get in a wreck or they hit a deer or something happens, we can put it back in service for a short period of time. But once we get, as we're planning hopefully to, and we'll talk about this in budget, buy another ambulance next year. And if so, then that one, the oldest one will go away at Fern Hill and then we'll move another one up there. And that's just where they go to, I call it they go to die. And that's where they sit just in case we need an ambulance. So they're out of service, but they are functional.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, cool. Thank you.
And good.
Okay. Now we have old business policy review, board policy review discussion from last month's section A 20 to 24.
And so I apologize. I lost my notes and for some reason we couldn't hear it on the audio, but under 21.2 response to district apparatus unprotected areas, that ORS, I stated early, but Paul wasn't here. That ORS just talks about that the fire district can't ask exorbitant costs for the recovery. So it just states that we can charge for repairs if our rigs break down, the equipment we use. And so generally what almost every fire district in the state uses is state rate. A type 1 engine, which is the big fire engine, is about $100 an hour. Water tenders are about 75. Brush rigs are 50 to 65. And so there's an amount, ambulances are 45. So there's a set amount. And that's what we, in the past, on the few times we've actually done this, we've charged exactly what the state rate is. We're not asking for anything more.
That makes sense.
It's not been on pesticides.
We've already read it, so.
Yeah, I was.
Had a question.
I was in the next set. Never mind.
The new set.
Need a motion,
Yeah,
accept these? I'll make a motion to accept the 23-24 standard rule following procedures. Policy.
give me a second.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? You good? Do that. That answer your question, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye. Right.
Aye. Okay. All right, now we have new business. We have board policy review discussion, section A 25 and 28.
25.1, the lettering just confused me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
It's like division chiefs A and then most senior, then it goes C, B, C, F,
Which one is it? I'm sorry.
25.1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that. So this one, Kate, I discussed this one today. We're not sure why C is even in there. Generally because of non-sworn position, I don't know why the finance or human resources person would be the next in the chain of command.
Mhm.
My recommendation would be is we remove that and you keep it the most senior division chief, maybe replace that with battalion chief, and then we go from battalion chief down to company officer. I mean, it makes the most amount of sense, but I've never understood why that would, forget the CB, the letters are screwed up, but the fact is that it's a non-sworn, that it's a sworn position for a non, and they have non-sworn people in there, so that'd be a civilian. I'm not sure why.
Not that we have one, but yes, if we ever get an assistant chief type thing, should we write it like that? Like if you ever,
I think you could, yes.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So change it towards assistant chief, battalion chief, you know what I mean? Just down. And obviously that comes down right now. That's not what our staffing.
Well, so I will correct this one. I gotta find a word, but we'll get it scanned. So I'll go assistant chief, division chief, battalion chief, company officer, most senior captain, which we don't, I'll leave captain in there because there's a possibility we could have those. Then most senior lieutenant, and then apparently we'll go to firefighter. So this, the battlefield promotion from firefighter to chief, I guess, but yes, it can happen. So.
I don't know if
Hopefully
there's a
not. That's serious
difference between
trouble.
paid captain versus, because we've had volunteer captains in the past too, if that makes a difference in this.
So I can delineate that if you'd like.
I don't know what it needs, but
Do we have any volunteer captains?
we used to.
We used to, and I'm working on it, bringing it back because we do need some company officer level for the volunteers to help me herd them. And, we're hoping to get a few of them back, yes.
That would make sense.
So what I'll do is I'll have 25.1 and 25.2 mimic, so whatever that is, so the same list will just be twice, but it just talked about the temporary absence. And so I will get that one corrected for next month. Would recommend that the emergency response billing, that we send that to Miller Nash to confirm, ensure that those ORSs as listed, like
Yeah.
466, 280 are actually still accurate. Because the last time this was revised was
14.
2014, so it's been only 11 years.
Yeah.
So they could have changed. So we can send this one to Miller Nash and have them, I just want to make sure those ORSs are accurate.
I agree.
Twenty-seven you guys do on, it's rare, but we do get a few a year that we present to you, somebody outside the fire district, possibly 2.5 or 2.6. That request coverage and then they pay the rate that everybody else pays, so they can get a discount on their insurance. And this was and then under medical transport vehicle, I believe, Rick, was this the care car van?
I believe that was a caravan.
Yeah.
The wheelchair van,
The wheelchair van, which we don't have or operate, but it says we shall,
yeah.
maintain and manage, not, we don't have that anymore. So this one might be something we choose to
Go away.
go away.
I agree.
Just make a suggestion, you gentlemen.
I agree.
What number was that?
The very last one.
E20.
It's been, what, Rick, probably 13, 14 years at least, maybe 15.
Yeah, when we first started it, we were the only ones doing it. You know, the wheelchair van and transport, and we didn't have a local dialysis clinic.
Yep.
And we ran a lot of that stuff, but then they got local dialysis clinic, and then Wapato Shores came in. A whole bunch of competitors came in to us, and we ended up dropping out of the business. Yeah, it's been a long time ago. I don't know if you remember it.
Is it something, yeah, drop in and I don't see us getting back into that wheelchair van and
No, it was great when we started it, because we needed, there was a service.
Yeah.
But that service quickly grew.
So what we can do is we can drop it, but we maintain it as a separate file that if we ever needed one, we can refer, we can say, hey, we need to have a care car van. And we already have the policy and we'll put it back in. I'm trying to, what's the term? I'm trying to think of the term I want,
Stated.
yeah, it just basically just retire it, but it's still available if we need to. We can always bring it up and say, hey, we're gonna do this now. We'd like to reinstate this.
Do you have any vision of having one of those anytime near future?
Is there a possibility? I think yes, but our priority right now is LC 911.
Yeah.
And so, they did talk about us having an ER and that went away. They were gonna put ER at the medical mile, again. And apparently it fell through and that was gonna be probably something we'd probably talk to them about. But as of right now, we don't have that capability.
Yeah, I definitely think it probably should go away because it kind of
Yeah.
implies that we need to
I
have
think
it.
the old doctor's office is indicative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll pull it, we'll mark it retired, we'll just keep it in a spare file. There'll probably be other ones we come up with it, we're no longer in use, but we might as well hold on to it. It's kind of what we do in Lexipol. They're not submitted, they're not put in the policy, but we hold on to them. They're kind of hidden. And then if we need one, if also we get a ladder truck, that's the ladder truck one we can activate. So we just put this.
Thing across front says, retired.
Yes.
Like a draft.
Okay. Okay, so,
So we have to wait to approve these in, because we got some
Yeah.
changes we made.
Yeah, so what we do is we will make the changes to that one I discussed and have Miller Nash look at that other one. And then we'll mark retired and then next month it'll be a quick, as old business, something you guys just can vote on at that point.
all right, cool, so we're gonna chill that one. Okay, next on the new business is the RFP for accounting services. So we put out an RFP and this was, we got obviously,
Wolf Advisors. The only one that we received one. I got an email from a company that asked if we were still looking, but it seemed fishy. It didn't seem like a legitimate email. So I wasn't sure, so I didn't reply back to it because we've been getting spammed a lot lately. But Kate, this is the only one we collected, correct?
Yeah.
So, Wolf Advisors has presented an RFP for your consideration.
That's the only one we got. And it's who we're currently using.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to accept it. RFPs.
Of course, well, I guess we could do that with discussion. I'll second the motion.
okay, discussion.
We've been happy with them.
Yes.
Yes.
They're solid.
We meet with them. I mean, Kate probably talked to them at least once a week. I meet with them once or twice a month. And they're also helping me learn because obviously I wasn't born a fire chief, but so I'm still learning. There's things I have to do. And they've been very, very compassionate about, walking me through like what I need to do and I'm learning as I go. They have done a great job in our mind that, with renewing the contract would be a wise thing to do because they've helped us with the last 2 or 3 years.
So if you guys are comfortable with it, I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
what's the, I see they have like estimated inflation. What are they basing that off of? It's on their price.
I think not CPI, what's the consumer price index, the CPI, I think that's what they're considering, and they're on the low end of that, but most times CPI is higher than that, so we have 4 or 5%.
So it could be higher though.
It could,
Okay.
but ultimately, the role that they have taken on helping us with the financials has freed up a division chief's position for not having a financial chief. So they are doing the work of, an individual we had employed here, so this is a benefit to the district and has substantially reduced costs. So even when you see the price, that's still cheaper than a full FTE.
Yeah, it's way cheaper than everything.
All right, definitely.
You know,
Okay, like, any more discussion?
Let's see, comment time 7 F1. Luke Medic 472 to Deer Island, please. Sorry.
Very good. Okay, so time to vote. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Okay, the guys have it.
And next time you see Krista will be on the 4th of March. And she is going to be on site. So if you can't attend the meeting, she said she'd be in person. So it'd be a great opportunity.
Do we have to sign something?
No, that'll be at the next meeting. I'll do a resolution and then her engagement letter will be in the packet.
That makes sense. Okay, and then board meeting location change, Rainier location only.
So, one of the things that we struggle with a little bit is, the Rainier end of the meeting, and the city hall closes at 5. Our meeting is not till 6. And a lot of those folks, live over in the Longview side or outside the city. And so it's kind of it's a little bit of a work to try to get in there, unlock the door for us. They are doing some remodel there as well. And so it's been difficult. Obviously, last month we met upstairs in the old, museum. And so what, we discussed today or earlier this week for you guys to consider is I asked Paul, would the church there on C Street be a great meeting location that we can meet with on a fairly consistent basis? So I asked if that was a possibility. He said yes. And so just to free up, so we don't have to keep bothering the city of Rainier, it'd be a great opportunity to use
For the cops.
and the cops and setting the alarm off and, getting calls from Scott Jorgensen. So it just, right now with all the remodel and everything got going on, it just makes more sense. It probably for the rest of this calendar year is if we could use the, Riverside Church.
first week.
Okay, all right.
With the exception of the budget
Correct.
meetings. The budget meetings will always be here.
Okay, make a vote. Move the location to the church.
I'll make a motion to approve to move the location to the, what's the name of the church?
Riverside.
Riverside Church in Bernier.
Second. Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good. All right, board members' comments.
Can I real quick, and I want to go back on that. So, as Kate was talking about, we have to do the budget committee meetings down here. But, we're working with Krista on the budget calendar for this year. We're actually trying to reduce the number of meetings. And we're not trying to reduce it. We're still gonna have a budget workshop. We have to have those. But when it comes to the approval of the budget this time, we will be looking at the first reading of it in May. And then at your June board meeting will be where you approve it. So we're doing things earlier. That's why we're meeting with Krista in March. So last year,
Not doing it at the last minute.
we will not do a last minute. So this is plenty of time. We'll be working with the company officers, and staff to come up with everything, work with Krista. We'll present stuff to you. We'll bring the budget committee in. And, so anyway, we're trying to reduce the number of meetings. So we don't have extra meetings or last minute meetings.
Will the budget committee be able to sit down and have access to Krista as well during the budget planning?
Well, obviously, the budget committee's job is to review the budget as presented. It's not, and then you guys, which you guys are part of, plus the other members that are part of that. So Chris will be here to answer their questions like before. She'll be presenting just like she did before. She does a fantastic job at it.
I agree.
And so we're gonna still have her here, but the goal is to be realistic on our timeline where it's not just stacked up 2 days before the end of the calendar year. So our goal is, once we have it, she's working on it right now with Kate. we'll probably have to, hopefully by March, and you'll see the budget calendar, and you guys are gonna see the dates well in advance.
Okay.
And, we'll be plenty of time for us to review the budget, with adequate time.
Cool.
Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there.
I agree.
Thank you.
Okay, board member comments.
I like hearing that, there's a plan and some people in place possibly going forward with new hires and people out there. It's encouraging. So, good job.
Same here. I want to see boots on the ground.
I agree. I think we're definitely, it's going in the right direction, so I can't, I think it's going better than we expected, so. Yep, I get that added personnel. It sounds like the end of January, that will all be happening and then, yep, going up and you get a day off and some of the people can.
Maybe 2 in a row.
Yeah, right.
That'd be nice.
So, cool. You got anything?
I don't know.
Mark?
Probably sound like a broken record, but Chief Smythe, you, 3215, all of the members of Columbia River Fire and Rescue, Kate, the way you guys have come together as a team makes me very proud to be on this board. From where I started, when I started here, where we were to where we are now is night and day. Just the ability to buy an ambulance, stay within the budget, and then increase staffing. All in basically a year is very impressive to me. So I think everybody involved, I don't want to leave anybody out, but I'm very impressed with that. So everybody keep up the good work. It makes my job really easy. So thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Okay, well, if that's it, then it's 6:47. We're into the green clock, and I'm calling the meeting adjourned. Thank you.
So Chief, I noticed there's nobody showing up to complain anymore.